Good evening. Our lesson for today is going to be taken from Daniel in chapter 2, continuing on what we were looking at last week in this book. Daniel is a book that focuses mostly on one man in particular, the titular Daniel, but we do have some other characters throughout the story, including his friends that we met last time in the most commonly known names of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or as they would be called in their Hebrew names, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. In chapter 2, however, we're going to encounter another central character in this book in the form of our sometimes antagonist, Nebuchadnezzar. King Nebuchadnezzar is responsible for the captivity that Daniel and his companions are undergoing, but he also is, in some ways, just one of the players in the game. It's kind of hard to see him as a total villain. And I think we'll see that as we go forward. Let's start by reading part of this chapter. In the second year of his reign, Nebuchadnezzar had dreams. His mind was troubled, and he could not sleep. So the king summoned the magicians, enchanters, sorcerers, and astrologers to tell him what he had dreamed. And when they came in and stood before the king, he said to them, "I have had a dream that troubles me, and I want to know what it means." The astrologers answered the king in Aramaic, "O king, live forever. Tell your servants the dream, and we will interpret it." The king replied to the astrologers, "This is what I have firmly decided to do. If you do not tell me what my dream was and interpret it, I will have you cut into pieces and your houses turned into piles of rubble. But if you tell me the dream and explain it, you will receive from me gifts and rewards and great honor. So tell me the dream and interpret it for me." Once more they replied, "Let the king tell his servants the dream and we will interpret it." The king answered them, "I am certain you are trying to gain time, because you realize that this is what I have firmly decided. If you do not tell me the dream, there is just one penalty for you. You have conspired to tell me misleading and wicked things, hoping the situation would change. So then, tell me the dream, and I will know that you can interpret it for me." The astrologers answered the king, "There is not a man on earth who can do what the king asks. No king, however great and mighty, has ever asked such a thing of any magician or enchanter or astrologer. What the king asks is too difficult. No one can reveal it to the king except the gods, and they do not live among men." We come to this point in the story where the king has made what would seem to be, in all human terms, a very unreasonable demand. "I've had a dream. It happened entirely within the space between my ears, and I need you to tell me what it is before you tell me what it means. That's the only way I know you have the power to interpret the dream truly." And the astrologers, for all intents and purposes, seem to have a very good defense. How are we supposed to know what it is unless you tell us? But the king is insistent on this. Nebuchadnezzar has, on several occasions throughout this book, as we go forward, we will see, been given things by God, whether it's things that the people that God has chosen would like or not. Nebuchadnezzar was chosen as the tool to punish Israel when they were brought away into captivity. And Nebuchadnezzar now has again been chosen to receive this dream. And it's going to take God's work to make that dream's meaning known to him. In verse 12, this made the king so angry and furious that he ordered the execution of all the wise men of Babylon. So the decree was issued to put the wise men to death, and men were sent to look for Daniel and his friends to put them to death. When Arioch, the commander of the king's guard, had gone out to put to death the wise men of Babylon, Daniel spoke to him with wisdom and tact. He asked the king's officer, "Why did the king issue such a harsh decree?" Arioch then explained the matter to Daniel. At this, Daniel went into the king and asked for time, so that he might interpret the dream for him. Then Daniel returned to his house and explained the matter to his friends Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. He urged them to plead for mercy from the God of heaven concerning this mystery, so that he and his friends might not be executed with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. And during the night, the vision was revealed to Daniel in a vision. Mystery was revealed to Daniel in a vision. And Daniel praised the God of heaven and said, "Praise be to the name of God forever and ever. Wisdom and power are his. He changes times and seasons. He sets up kings and deposes them. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning. He reveals deep and hidden things. He He knows what lies in darkness, and light dwells with him. I thank and praise you, O God, my fathers. You have given me wisdom and power. You have made known to me what we have asked of you, and you've made known to us the dream of the king. The prayer of Daniel, this song of praise, as it's recorded for us here, is a very interesting piece of the text to me. We see that Daniel is acknowledging God and extolling his great mercy and power in helping to deliver Daniel from this situation. But of course, God made this situation to begin with. The purpose of the dream coming to Nebuchadnezzar is to conduct Nebuchadnezzar's actions. When the interpretation comes, Nebuchadnezzar makes some decisions based on those pieces of information that are delivered to him. But it's also been a time for Daniel himself to praise God and to show who God is. But I think there's an important lesson for us in particular in that prayer. The prayer that Daniel prayed is so powerful for us, I think we might as well write it down alongside the Lord's Prayer and just pray it whenever we are stuck for words of our own. Praise be to the name of God forever and ever. Wisdom and power are his. He changes times and seasons. He sets up kings and deposes them. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning. He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what lies in darkness, and light dwells with him. I thank and praise you, O God, my fathers. You have given me wisdom and power. You have made known to me what we asked of you. You have made known to us the dream of the king. Of course, the king that dream we are looking forward to has a lot better intentions for us. I think that the plans for Jesus and the vision he has for us are a lot better than this idea that Nebuchadnezzar was given by God to conduct his actions. And I think aside from maybe that last little bit, that's something we could all pray. To add to my point here, in James chapter 1, James says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, when you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. And then if any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt, because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That man should not think he will receive anything from the Lord. He's a double-minded man, unstable in all he does." Wisdom is one of the things that God promises to never withhold from us whenever we pray. And as long as we have faith, God will provide us wisdom in every circumstance, like he did for Daniel in this time of interpreting the dream of the king. And that's my lesson for this evening. I hope it's been encouraging for you as we go out through the week. I hope we can apply it to our prayer lives and to our understanding of our conduct before the Lord and before men. If any of you is subject to the gospel or needs prayers of encouragement for the church, we'd offer that you can come forward now. So just stand and sing.